Howdy, everybody, and welcome to Random Rhapsody's very first episode of Magi-Knights, an echo from the stars. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and magic keeper for this mini-series event, and joining me around my virtual table today are Dasonie, Hitoshura, Jeff, Ryuu, and Steven. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
Yo.
Alyssa is supposed to be here today, but she is not, so we're all going to give her crap about it later. Now, before we begin, I want to give a shout-out to the Magi-Knights project team. The system's Kickstarter is already funded, but there is still a few days left to support and pick up a copy of your own. I've got mine pledged already, and if you like our series and want to play on your own, you can check them out at Magi-Knights.com. Next off, I want to remind everyone that's watching that Random Rhapsody streams Mondays at 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock Central Time, and on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. as well. We'll be playing Magi-Knights every other Wednesday, opposite our usual random game night. You can keep up to date on our schedule and everything we're doing by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV and on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody. Okay, that should do it for the announcements. So join us as we descend towards Loropa City and begin the adventures of a new group of Magi-Knights as they investigate an echo from the stars. Welcome back. So if you're a regular viewer here on Random Rhapsody, you're going to notice that we start things off a little differently. We got Loot Bunny and Rainbow Solar Nova in chat today, both sending us love. Howdy, everybody. Loot Bunny's also saying, I almost want to stand up and clap after that intro. Thank you very much. I'm glad you like it. Now, normally, I do an intro at the start of the Debauchery Circus and the Fab Five, but for Magi-Knights, we're going to be doing things a little differently. At the beginning of each session, our players are going to have a roll-off by rolling a d20, and whoever gets the lowest roll is going to have to recap our previous session as their character. I'll fill in any blanks you can't remember, and away we'll go. Now, fortunately, whoever loses this one won't have a lot to recap since we only did the intro last session. So if you're going to lose a roll-off, this is the one to do it. So everyone go ahead and roll me your d20s.
10.
Oh no.
Oh.
I thought I was doomed when I saw the 3, but no.
Yeah.
You had to take the cake.
That was awesome. Anesthetic, one of our regular viewers here on Random Rhapsody, is in chat sending us some bits. Hey, Anesthetic, how you doing, love? So, David Copeland, tell us what happened last night.
So last night, I found this really weird, black cat with wings, and I really wanted to pet it. So I followed it all the way to the park, and there were some other people there who also followed the cat, which is very strange because I was following it. But it doesn't matter. It started talking to us. It's crazy, right? And it told us that we're like superheroes or something. I couldn't transform, but a couple other people could, and it was really awesome. And then I just kept petting the cat, so I don't know what happened.
Well, you did learn during that time that you are actually Magi-Knights, important beings of with magical powers that are able to stand up against the evil outsiders that are invading your world. And it is your responsibility as Magi-Knights to confront this evil, track them down, and find out whatever it is they're doing in your beloved city. So eventually you all did go home. Yeah. After leaving the park that night, each one of you made your way back to your respective homes and the safety of your beds. No doubt there was a mixture of emotions among all of you as you bedded down for the evening. The fact notwithstanding that your first day of school starts tomorrow. Fortunately, you've all got your student uniforms pressed and ready to go, and, well, at least those of you who are actually into that stuff. Anyway, sleep comes swiftly enough for you all, and before you know it, you find yourselves waking up bright and early on the morning of the 25th of August, 1995. A great year. Clinton is president, Windows 95 was just released, and Toy Story is the most popular kids' movie around. And life tends to start early in idyllic Pacific Northwestern cities, which means you all have to hurry to get to school on time. Now, since we're starting off the day, I would like someone real quick to roll me a D100, and we're going to find out what kind of day today is.
No, I got it.
I don't suggest me. I always roll the worst option. Oh,
Wow!
hey.
Another one. Lovely. Lovely. So in my other games, whenever a nat 1 is hit, a gigantic dragon just swoops down and attacks. So as you're getting up in the morning, oh my god, Tiamat just showed up. No.
Oh no, that's the worst dragon.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No. Different game, fortunately, different world altogether. So when you wake up, you find that the temperature is actually cooler than normal for a day in August. It's not raining, and there's no wind whatsoever. It's actually very, tepid and kind of makes you feel like just a little blah as you're getting up that morning. But eventually you start heading off. Now, your arrival at Coltrast Academy is greeted pretty much what you'd expect on your first day of school. Friends reacquainting with one another, teachers attempting to herd students into the building, and at least one social breakdown in front of the entire assembly. The academy itself is one of those tall, 3-story, imposing brick buildings that one would imagine being an Ivy League, or at the very least, Xavier's Institute for the Gifted. And, considering what happened last night, that's kind of a little apropos. For some of you, today is a day of firsts, while others have been attending the academy for any number of years. Regardless, you all have your syllabuses, and your syllabuses say that the first block of your day is an assembly. So that's going to be some fun. So, unfortunately, that means you also have no AM classes. Those of you who are a former student would know that the principal, Mr. James Voken, loves to address the student body for way longer than he probably should. The man has a gift for the gab, there is no doubt about that, and these long assemblies are dull even by the best of times. But you can all make your way to the gymnasium, a tall side structure to the school where the Coltrast Cheetah logo is garishly emblazoned upon the side of the room next to the scoreboard. Now, the bleachers are pulled out, and those are those pull-out kinds that are just uncomfortable as hell. But they're also filling up fast. So as all of you start making your way into the gymnasium, my first question to everyone, I suppose, would be, where are you all sitting in this assembly? Are you going to be sitting together as a group, separately, in the front, the back? What?
Sitting next to my brother, Gawain. Other than that, whatever happens.
Okay.
Yeah. Gawain is probably going to be sitting with his brother. Just he's the most familiar out of everyone there, especially being in a new country. So he's probably he might nod or wave to any of the other squad that passes by, but
Okay, I like it. So the two of you are kind of making your way together, just kind of coasting, drifting to wherever the crowd may lead you. David, how about you?
David is sitting as close to the front as possible on like an edge of the bleachers because school assemblies are dumb and he wants to get back to the interesting part of school, the classes, as fast as possible.
I like it. Yeah, that sounds about right. Iris, how about you? You're muted. We can't hear you.
Well, since her friend isn't there, she'll just go and sit with the rest of the track team.
Okay. Yeah, you can find the track team. They tend to stick together as well. More down towards the front, you know. The first day of assemblies always has some type of big spirit event, and they want to get down there and be right there for the team spirit. How about you, Jasmine?
Jasmine is sitting in the direct middle of like I assume it's like they square like sitting the kids in like a square situation.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, so she would probably be in the direct middle of it, like unremarkable and like trying to stay out of everybody's way, but make sure she can hear everything that's going on.
Okay, I like it. Well, let's see here. As I said, these assemblies are just horribly and dreadfully dull. First comes Mrs. Wheeler, the school secretary, who steps forward to get everyone's attention to quiet down. Once that finally happens, which, as I'm sure you are all aware, it takes forever for that to happen. Next, Cordelia Jones, the student council president from last year, steps forward to remind everyone that clubs and after-school activities will begin their sign-ups this week, so you should all join up as soon as possible. Loot Bunny saying, I actually agree with David. When I was in school, assemblies were boring. I agree too. I always tried to duck out whenever possible. Finally, Mr. Vulcan is introduced, and you see a tall man stepping forward with dark black-gray hair slicked backwards on his head, wearing a crisp white button-down shirt underneath a sweater vest the same blue as your school's colors, which I actually have a handout for this guy right here. There you go. There's Mr. Vulcan right there. Once he gets into the center of the gymnasium and he kind of adjusts his black framed glasses and then adjusts the microphone in front of him, which makes that loud screeching sound that forces everyone to cover their ears. God, that's horrible. Anesthetic says she just likes getting out of the class, so she doesn't mind the assemblies too much. Mm-hmm. Now, Mr. Vulcan, he says this. Why, thank you, Cordelia, and good morning, boys and girls. You know, whenever a new year starts off, I am approached by several youngsters saying, Principal Vulcan, what can I do to make the most of this upcoming school year? We don't want to waste time goofing off with friends or getting involved with drugs. No, we want to benefit from the rich learning environment here at Coltrast Academy. And, dear God, some of you start getting these flashbacks of Goof Troop, while others, like, that Southern twang is amusing to hear in very small amounts, but even that jovial gait gets dull after a brief period, and it becomes harder and harder to pay attention to him. Anesthetic is saying that she already has a crush on Principal Vulcan. And yes, Loot Bunny, Principal Vulcan definitely equals Principal Mazer. Now, here's my question to everyone. Who's actually paying attention to Mr. Vulcan during this assembly? Show of hands.
One person.
Just Gwen.
Hey, Jasmine's there too. You know what?
Jasmine
as well?
I might have been considering it, but once I realized that Gwen was paying attention, I realized he's paying attention, so I don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. As long as one person is using the brain cell.
Yeah, as long as one of them is. Okay, so those of you who are actually paying attention, I would like for you to make for me right now a wisdom check. Just a straight wisdom check. This is to see how well you're actually able to pay attention to this man as he
Oh, that
talks
is
on
nuts.
and on and on. Looks like you have advantage set to roll
Yeah, it looks like
automatically.
I do. Would you like me to roll that again?
No, we're just going to use the first one whenever that happens, so that's an 11.
Yes.
Advanced dice roll.
Okay.
Wait, how do we turn that functionality off? Because I think I've got that on as well.
It's in the cog.
Yeah, you go to the cog
and you
on your
can
players
do
on the hand.
roll
on the
queries advantage toggle, and you can also do a whisper toggle.
that goes straight to the GM.
They'll let you
didn't have the
you go between public or to GM, which is very nice.
So Jasmine,
I didn't have the +2, so 7 because it didn't have the +2.
Gotcha. So a 7 and 11, unfortunately, even the two of you, you're trying to pay attention, but dear God, he's dull. Dear God. And even you, the both of you, your eyes just start drooping, and it's almost collectively that the entire student body just starts to doze as this man talks for 3 whole class periods. The entire A block is taken up by this man talking. Dear God in heaven.
I think Gawain's also struggling because this is like a really southern accent, and he's just like, is this actually English that I'm listening to? It's like I'm listening to Scottish right now.
I know, right? But, eventually the class period ends one right after another. The spirit team comes out and starts getting people pumped up again when the principal finally shut the hell up. Rainbow Solar Nova is saying, this is where you just play some good music in your head. Absolutely. But eventually the spirit team does come out, starts pumping up the team once again. You all wake up. Eventually, thank God, the assembly is over. And good thing, too, because all of you are feeling hungry. But it is lunchtime.
Oh no, stop! That was my grandma's grandfather clock as well. I hated it so much.
Oh, you're going to get real sick of that bell real fast then.
Oh.
I'm right with you. That's definitely a clock, not a school bell.
It's the chime that every anime I've ever watched use, so I'm like, I gotta use it too. Why the heck not?
Yes, exactly.
So anyway, once assembly is over, finally lunch comes along, and the student body makes their way heading to lunch. Now, lunch itself is a time where you all actually can do a few things, and we're going to kind of talk about that real quick. Now, during your lunch period, you have a 30-minute time to interact with one another or your fellow students. This includes exchanging information, listening to local gossip, or having friendly interactions. Every lunch period, each of you gets to decide to do a lunchtime activity. You can do them as a group and get a little bit more benefits, or you can do it by yourself and just do it by yourself. Now, the things you can do during your lunch activities are relax and eat with friends. That's when you just all get together, eat a good meal, chill for a little bit. The good thing about that is it heals 1 stress point and gains 1 social point with any NPC or Magi-Knight that you want. If you don't have a stress point, you gain an additional social point. So today you could get up to 2. The next thing you can do is a last-minute cram session. Basically, you use your time to do some cramming, and it makes the student burden of the PM phase a little bit easier. So you're studying for your next few classes, because for each class, we're going to be rolling to see how you do. So this makes it a little easier. The next thing you can do is listen to gossip, and this is when you can interact with people at lunch. You can see things that might be going on that you may not notice any other time. Or if there's nothing that happens, nothing really going on in that time, you gain an inspiration point, which are useful in and of itself. The next thing you can do is drink copious amounts of caffeine. If you are exhausted, this helps out. You can chug enough caffeine to temporarily negate any penalties associated with exhaustion or stress points until the end of your student burden. So, like, if you're really exhausted and you're failing on all your rolls because you're getting minus, that's when you probably want to drink copious amounts of caffeine. And then the last thing you can do is take a power nap. That's you literally sleep through your lunch phase, but it removes 2 stress points, which can be important at different times. But right now, probably not so much. But you do have a choice to make, each one of you. Which of these lunchtime activities do you want to do during your lunch break? And if you have any questions about what's going on, I'm happy to assist.
Probably just go with option 1.
So,
Your character has friends?
Well, he has a brother at least.
At least. I'll probably do the same. Iris will probably relax and eat with friends.
Okay.
Just chill.
How about you, David? What are you thinking?
I
See
think
your friends kind of getting together over there in one table.
I think he's going to sit at the table with them, but I think what I want to do will count as a last-minute cram session. He is, after that assembly, going, oh my god, we've already missed 3 periods. The teachers have a schedule to keep. They're going to expect us to already know what we were supposed to go over today. So he's like looking through the first few periods syllabus and like trying to figure out what he was supposed to have learned today, what he is supposed to know tomorrow.
Okay. Well, if you do the last minute cram session, you get to choose a 4th, 5th, or 6th period class, and cramming for that class reduces the DC by 4. So you can choose either 4th, 5th, or 6th hour, and that's what your DC is gonna be reduced by.
Do you have specific classes picked out for us?
Yes.
Okay.
I can pull that
It's
up
on-
here.
Is it just the ones on the regular school schedule sheet?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, we have a.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
you actually have a school schedule sheet. I can show it to you right there. There you go.
Oh goodness.
Is it
So
A or
4th,
B?
it's we're on a day A. So 4th hour is fine arts. It can be either art or music. It is up to you. Science is 5th period, and physical education is 6th period.
I'm gonna say 4th period, but also, how would you like lunchtime cram session for physical education?
Do a bunch of sit-ups and push-ups and kind of jog in place.
Psych yourself up.
Yeah, just psych yourself out.
Okay.
Eat them
Steroids.
protein bars.
Yeah.
Steroids.
Steroids. Yeah, the 15-year-old kid's going to take steroids. No, I'd kind of doubt that.
Yeah.
The worst we got was pot. At
Right.
least in my school.
Well, that's not going to psych you up for phys ed, that's for sure.
No. That's the
Jasmine.
opposite.
So we're discussing what we're doing for your lunch period. Now, you got 3 of your friends, Iris, Daryl, and Gwen, all coming together, sitting at a table. They're planning on just relaxing and eating with friends. David seems to be sitting with them, but more focusing on, well, it's fine arts. So either he's practicing his music or he's practicing his sketching or something like that. I don't know what, but you can tell us in a second, David. But Jasmine, you can either relax and eat with your friends. You can cram, which gives you a bonus in one of your classes. You can go around and listen to gossip and try to pick up unusual and unheard of things going on in the school. It's kind of like a mini investigation phase. You can drink copious amounts of caffeine, and or you can take a power nap.
I'm gonna listen to gossip. I need to know what the girls are saying.
No, that's valid. That's absolutely valid. So, okay. And David, what fine art are you taking? Or is it going to be music, or is it going to be like art or something?
He is taking music. I don't know if this is going to be like split up or whatever. If I can be specific with it, I think he's taking music theory.
Yeah, go for it. Music theory. I love it. Yeah, because you like to be a DJ a little bit. You like to figure out how to make those tracks. Little David, the DJ. I love it. Has anyone seen the new Mysteries Incorporated show on YouTube?
Not yet.
No, you need to
I
check it out.
have.
I saw a little bit of like the first season way back when, but
No, this is a new show that they made on YouTube. Like they kickstarted it.
oh, this is not the Scooby-Doo show called Mysteries Inc.
No, this is actually Mystery Incorporated or something like that.
Okay.
It's like a noir style telling of Scooby-Doo.
Oh.
It's actually pretty cool. But Jasmine, since you said you watched it, David's kind of giving me Shaggy vibes right now.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Honestly,
Okay.
with the brown hair, I can see the vision.
Okay.
Like Zoinks, Mr. Wanderer.
Would
So
you protect the city for a Scooby snack?
heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Two Scooby snacks.
That sounds like the perfect crossover mini-series we should do at some point, is Scooby-Doo Magi-Knights.
Oh
Dear God.
no.
I mean, they crossed over with like the Harlem Globetrotters. We're not.
Yeah, we're not
saw
going
that
too
in
far.
Like 7 times.
Okay, so David, you are going to be doing a cram session. So you spend your lunch hour focusing mostly on your musical theory, working on your textbooks, trying to do whatever notes you can, trying to anticipate what this next class is going to be about. Gwen, Iris, and Daryl, you don't have any stress points right now, so each of you gain 2 social points total. You can put 1 social point in one of your fellow Magi-Knights, 2 in one. It's up to you how you want to split them up. But on your student section, that's where you put your friends' names, all of the names of your fellow Magi-Knights, and also any NPCs you might interact with during a time. And that's where you add your social points too. So you can go ahead and do that now. As for you, Jasmine, go ahead and what roll is this?
I believe it's investigation.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
investigation,
Yep,
intelligence.
investigation. So give me an investigation, intelligence, or wisdom. You can use either or on this. But go ahead and give me an investigation check as you're kind of moving through the lunchroom, looking for any signs of anything kind of weird, any things that stand out that you can listen in for some gossip.
No whammies, no whammies.
You know, all you gotta do is hope for the best.
Oh
That's a
no.
5.
Ooh,
Ugh.
we're on a roll tonight, y'all.
High hopes, low rolls.
Okay, so you're walking around the room, and there's a lot of people talking. A lot of chats going on. Not a lot that's actually sticking out to you, unfortunately. You do notice that there is a trio of girls, one of which you do recognize. You saw her in the beginning on in the assembly. It's Cordelia Jones, and she's standing in the kind of towards the side of the lunchroom. Really seems to be arguing about themselves. Amongst themselves, Cordelia specifically seems really irritated, and her friends seem to be trying to calm her down.
I'm gonna try to listen as subtly as possible.
Okay, go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Hence drama. We must listen.
And here's a picture
You
of
know.
Cordelia. Cordelia herself, very large, curly hair that kind of puffs out and goes down the sides of her back, deep chocolate eyes, and ebony skin. She's wearing a very crisp uniform, very, very neat and put together. She's obviously a young lady who thinks very highly of herself. The Sea Jester is in chat. He's saying, I must love you, Hito. I actually reset all my login info just to be here. Well, welcome. Thank you.
That's a good Christian. That's a good Christian 3.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. You know, Jasmine, you're walking towards them, but unfortunately, as stealthy as you're trying to be, someone drops an empty can of soda on the ground, and your foot goes out and kicks it just in the wrong moment. It goes spinning down the floor, and it smacks right into Cordelia's leg. She looks direct up at you, stopping her conversation mid-sentence, and is like, "Excuse me? Is that yours?"
Oh, that was that guy.
What? And she kind of like looks around, really irritated, like looking for some other
run.
guy. Like, go ahead and make a deception check. I think deception's a thing in this.
Yeah, it is.
One of these rolls has to be good.
Yeah,
like
Bunny's
Why
saying,
do you say
"Uh-oh,
that?
you're gonna get it, Jasmine."
I mean, if my strength is so bad, I don't have to fight somebody getting beat up on the first day.
You can get to a cat. Hey!
Hey!
That's an 18.
There you go, 18. Not too bad. Cordelia looks back amongst around, like trying to find whoever it was who threw that, who kicked the can, and she's like, "Oh, it was a boy, was it?"
Oh no!
Yeah, no, boys are such dicks.
God, they are. You give them your heart, you give them your soul, and then the next time some pretty girl walks across their path, they just all go running off following them. It's sick. They're disgusting.
I mean, honestly, that's why the nursery rhymes say that they go to Jupiter to get more stupider.
Mm.
Even 3-year-old girls know that they're trash.
You ain't wrong about that. You are not wrong about that. It makes me sick when some girl tries to come along and steal your boyfriend. But what good are they?
I know.
Go ahead and give me. You got one more roll to do here, Jasmine. Before you, whatever you got to say, this is going to be it. You're making a persuasion skill to calm Cordelia down.
I just want to know what was up. I did not plan on getting this deep into this.
No, now you've made friends with the student council president. Oh my god,
That's
Wow.
24, man.
Wow.
I think I just saddled up next to her and like, honestly, you are a beautiful girl and you're smart. Don't let some dude who probably can't tie his own shoes about his mom telling him get you down.
Oh my god, you are so right. What's your name? I've never seen you around here before.
I'm Jasmine Nightshade. I'm new. I just moved to town with my mom.
Oh my god, Jasmine. It's so nice to have someone that actually knows what's going on. I'm so glad you've come to this school. Just be careful of that Lacey chick. That Lacey chick is no good. She's a no good, low down, boyfriend stealing whore.
That fucking skank.
Right. But good job. You seem to have actually calmed down Cordelia. Her friends, now that they see her kind of getting visibly calmer and less irritated, they give you a very heartfelt smile and gratitude now that their friend is less irritated. And you have earned 1 inspiration point.
Hey, nice.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll take it.
You're
Hell up.
best friends with her by the end of this, I can
Yeah,
tell.
you can actually go ahead and put Cordelia Jones down on your student sheet and give her, and you could put 1 social point in with her. You've made a new friend.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. The suggester's saying getting beat up on the first day. Jasmine and I have things in common. But
Ooh, Bessie, oh no.
Anesthetic is saying Jasmine is bae. Hell yeah.
Agreed.
Good job, Jasmine.
Thank you. Oh my god, thank you.
Okay. Eventually, you make your way back to the rest of your friends. But as you're walking towards them, I'm going to give you one more thing since you just blew that out of the water with a nat 20. As you're walking back to your friends, you notice that there's a milk carton on one of the tables in the cafeteria. It's empty. It's on its side. Someone has ignored it, but something catches your eye about it. There's a picture of a student, a nervous-looking girl with blonde hair and thick black-framed glasses and bracers. It says Sarah Smith, 16, missing.
Well, I just pick up the milk carton and walk over to the group.
Okay. The rest of your group has been chilling and laughing and having a good old time. So you all have your social points with your teammate. David, don't forget you get a 4 to your roll whenever you do your next class. So keep that in mind. But once Jasmine comes over and joins you, you've got probably about 10 more minutes before the class period the lunch period is over. What do you got to say to your group?
A girl went missing. I don't know if that has to do with whatever darkness is around, but maybe keep an eye out for missing girls.
I mean, Alanis Morissette just put out a new album, so you're gonna see darkness everywhere.
What?
Who?
Ooh.
Ouch.
Hey man,
I'm more of a Janet girl.
1995 and Jagged Little Pill, every teenage girl.
That's
true.
I'm more of a Janet Jackson girl myself.
Heck yeah. Okay, with that, the lunch bell does ring. Here it comes now.
I'm going to get sick and tired of that one, I'm sure.
Probably, but let's see. Okay, so all of you are heading off to class. That is the wrong...
Someone's phone went off in my ears. What happened?
Wrong soundtrack. Anyway, so y'all are heading to class now. Your 4th period class of the day is Fine Arts. As I said before, it's either music or it's either music theory, something along those lines, or it's more of an art like, painting, drawing, art stuff.
Photography.
Exactly. Photography, if you like. Ceramics.
That's mine.
But for this class period, you have to roll a D20, and you're going to add either your performance or your coordination. And you need to keep track of your wins and your losses here. If you get a nat 20, it counts as 2 successes. If you get a nat 1, it counts as 2 failures. But we're going to keep track of your successes and failures, and each time period, your AM classes and your PM classes, you tally them up separately. And you do really well, something good happens. You do just decently, really nothing happens. But you did still have a good day.
There a specific place we're supposed to keep track of these?
No, just kind of make a note of it, and then we find out who and what and where at the end of each class period. Make sense?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 4th period, you're going to be rolling, like I said, either performance or coordination.
Mine would be performance.
I also want performance.
Okay.
Does it matter which one we pick?
It has to be one or the other, but it doesn't matter which one.
My coordination
Coordination
will be a
it is,
-1, so let's not do that.
I shouldn't do performance either.
No. Hey.
I'll take the +2.
Okay.
Ouch.
2 natural 20s. Yikes.
Okay. Daryl, what did you roll?
A 6 total.
6 total. That is a failure.
Yep.
You did not do well in your class. Iris, what was your roll?
23. Natural 20.
Natural 20. That is 2 successes. You get 2 successes for the day. Good job. Jasmine, how about you?
22. I also got a natural 20.
Nat 20 as well. Awesome. So that is 2 successes for you as well. Gwen,
I got an 11.
you got an 11. That is a success.
Nice.
And
Squeak.
David,
An 11 after the extra +4.
an 11 after the +4. That is a success for the day. Or for the class, I'm sorry. So 2 of you got 2 successes, 2 of you got 1 success, 1 failure. So track that down. And the next class we go to, it's 5th period. Is 5th period science. This is Mrs. Valcon, the science teacher. And you're going to be rolling either a STEM or medicine.
Mildred Valcon.
This is going to be medicine. Oh!
See Jester saying, Jasmine smart, Jasmine likes Janet Jackson, quickly becoming my girl RN.
Let's see.
I run on compliments, so if you keep giving them to me, I'll keep doing.
Get that positive reinforcement.
Hell yeah.
Ouch.
I'm easily bought.
I got a 9 on my medicine roll.
Daryl.
Ugh.
Yeah. He is jet lagged, apparently.
You know what? That's fair.
See, STEM or medicine?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really matter. It's going to be the same regardless. It's going to be straight intelligence.
Same.
Anesthetic saying, I know right, to see Jester's last statement.
Well,
Not that smart.
I didn't roll the lowest. Hell yeah.
this time.
Okay. So, David, what did you roll?
15.
15. Success. Gawain.
I got a natural 20 for a 22.
2 successes. Very nice. Jasmine?
I got a great, lovely 6.
6. Yeah, that's a failure, my friend. Daryl?
9.
9. Another failure for you. Today's not going your way. Okay. Iris?
Dirty 20 or ghetto 20?
Dirty 20. Okay, that is a success.
Nice.
So, for some of you, the day's going okay. Some of you, the day's going really well. Some of you, it's just not your day. But, that's how your school usually goes. But at least it's not a pop quiz day. I'll be happy about it. The last period of the day, physical education. This is Mr. Appleman, the gym teacher, who's going to be making you do laps to get you in the spirit and in the motions of the upcoming year. So I'm going to need each of you to make either an athletics check or an acrobatics check.
Athletics for moi.
Okay.
Athletics.
Oh, that only makes sense for me. I grew up in a military family.
Matt,
I'll make an acrobatics check.
can you remind me what the skill mastery does for me?
The skill mastery adds a 1 to it. So a +1.
Okay, is that going to be shown in the character sheet already?
It should if you put a check mark in mastery next to it, yes.
Okay.
Skill mastery, what's that?
Yeah, that lets you add your reputation level to a minimum of +1.
Anesthetic
How
inspiration
do we
works a
get
little
that?
bit differently.
Aha! I
this
finally
game.
did okay.
Now we know. You're not
Inspiration
you're not an
gives them
academic. You're
special
a
bonuses,
meathead.
so it's kind of different. But we'll talk about it later. Okay. So let's see. Gwaine.
Yes, I got an 18.
18 success. Jasmine.
I got an 8.
You got an 8. That's another failure. Daryl.
I got a 19.
That's a success. Iris.
I got a 12 total.
That's a success. David.
Nice.
I got a 5.
Oh, that's a failure.
Failure.
I think we kind of expected that, though. It only makes sense for you.
Yeah, it really does.
Oh no.
I did roll my lower stat on purpose because it's just thematically correct.
That's fair.
Okay. Rainbow Solar Nova is asking how much Axe is being sprayed in that locker room right now. I imagine David's being choked out by it as you're all showering down and getting ready to head home for the day. 6th period is the last period of the day, so I'm going to need everyone to tally up their total successes. A -1, a failure obviously is a -1. So if you have like a couple successes and you have a couple failures, then you kind of have to tally that up. But go ahead and tally up your successes and your failures, and we're going to find out soon here. Looks like you're already typing it out for me, so perfect.
Yeah, did we pass assembly? Is that how that works?
Yeah, you passed assembly. You don't really get anything for assembly. It's just there for the day. Eats up half your day, unfortunately.
Okay.
Okay, so looking at all of the successes and failures, it looks like Iris has 4 successes total. So you know what? You are the student of the hour. You know you're good, but you're not usually this good. You've seriously impressed a friend or a rival, so you can gain 1 social point with an NPC and gain an inspiration point. Or you can remove 3 stress points. If you already have inspiration and know a friend who could use it, you can give it to them. But I assume at this point you're going to take the social and inspiration.
Nice. Sounds like a plan. I don't know any NPCs I can be a rival to or a best buddy to.
Well, let's see. You should have made at least 1 NPC when you're creating your character.
Yes, but that's my grandma.
Okay, so that really wouldn't count. So you could either give it to, say, one of your teachers that you had throughout the day. That's kind of it.
Principal is your rival.
It doesn't have to be a
Beef with
rival.
the principal.
Yeah, a friend or a rival. I guess the gym teacher then.
Okay, gym teacher's Mr. Appleman.
Mr. Appleman.
See, Jester's saying Graham got mad social currency. It looks like Gawain also got 4 successes. Good job, Gawain. So you also gain a social point with an NPC and an inspiration point.
Okay. I think he will take that with his psychology teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll put that. Oh, that bumped him up.
Loot Bunny is pointing out when you get Student of the Hour, you can give social points to form new bonds.
Oh,
so that's really kind of what you're trying to do with that. Now, let's see, Daryl, you have 1 failure total. So, unfortunately, you had kind of a bad day, but there's always tomorrow. So you're going to be gaining 1 stress point.
Boo.
Mm-hmm. So, David, you got 2 successes and 1 failure, so that just counts as 1 success. Keep up the positive attitude. You're doing okay, but things could be better. Loot Bunny's saying, so you can make up a student in one of your classes and give yourself a social point with them if you're wanting to. So this is basically, you're creating an NPC from scratch, just a random NPC that goes to your school that might be able to help you out in a certain situation. Maybe you're in the school and you need some help and your social friend is there, they can help you out somehow. That's kind of what it's for. So you can choose, you can either give it to a teacher or you can give it to an NPC. You're just making up on the fly.
Okay. I'll be Lily then.
And yes, it is just 1 social point.
All right.
So 1 social point and 1 inspiration point for you. So David, you got 1 success, and Jasmine, you're at 0. So same thing for you. Keep up the positive attitude. You're doing okay, but things could be better. So you didn't get anything, but you also didn't screw up. So could be worse, right?
D's get degrees.
Okay. And with that, class is now officially over. I'm doing it just to be a dick at this point.
I felt my soul leave my body. That's okay. It's entertainment.
Exactly.
And not in a good way.
Exactly. Okay. Well, the day has ended. Your group finishes up with PE for the day and gets redressed and meets up together in the lockers in the hallway. Now, as school is slowly starting to filter out, people are getting ready to leave. But as you all are gathering up your things, getting your backpacks together, getting ready to go home, the hallways are starting to thin out and clear. Now, I want everyone to roll a perception check for me, each individually. Imagine you're all kind of chatting, talking amongst yourselves, trying to decide what it is we got to do as Magi-Knights. What is our day going to be have in store for us?
Dang.
Hey, we rolled pretty well.
Yeah, let's see. I'm seeing a 15 from Gwen. I'm seeing a 13 from David. I'm seeing a 19 from Iris. I'm seeing a 21 from Daryl.
Yep.
I think we're just missing
Just
Jasmine.
missing Jasmine.
Not 444. 4. Negative.
Yeah, pretty good all around. Basically, everybody but David notices this. David, at this point, probably talking a lot about his turntable and shit like that.
Oh
Maybe.
my god.
I don't know.
A hyper focus.
Yeah, but whatever it is David's doing, he's not really paying attention. See, Jester's saying, the school bell makes me wonder if the school day starts with the birthday song by the Beatles every morning on the tiny PA while the principal's assistant completely botches everyone's name and completely embarrasses teachers. Why not? Absolutely. Anyway, so all of you who rolled a 15 or higher, which is most of you, very easily notices a commotion coming from the far end of the hallway. There is a girl running past you, probably the cutest girl anyone has ever seen. Like, it doesn't matter really what your preferences are. It's hard to just not acknowledge the fact that she's just extremely cute and adorable. She's hurrying towards the double doors of the school, and she's being pursued by a group of 5 boys. They seem to be just, calling out to you, "Hey, wait a moment, wait, we just want to talk to you." But she seems to be hurrying as fast as she can down the hallways towards the door.
I'm going to step in the way of them.
Yeah, same.
Like, take up an offensive position in between her and the guys.
Okay.
Go with, I suppose.
Yeah, going will also. I'm sorry, what was that?
I said I'll flank them, you know? We'll flank. They became groups.
I'm going with the tall girl. We're gonna use our height too. It's full advantage.
Yes. Be the tall people in the back. Do nothing.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh no.
So I'm actually placing you just this. While I tend to use maps in a few different circumstances, not always just for battle, but sometimes for social situations as well, just to give you, you know, a bit of a way to look at it and really see what's going on. So as I said, your group is in the hallway, kind of at their lockers, talking amongst themselves, and you see this group of boys walking down the hallway, chasing after that girl. So Daryl, you said you're reacting first. You're running up in front of them, trying to get your way around them. Does that sound about right? And then who said they're
Basically
following?
just trying to protect her from them.
Okay, I dig it. And who's going along with them?
I think it was all of us.
Pretty much everybody, huh?
Pretty
Yeah,
much everybody.
If I've noticed, I'm gonna go too.
It's like, where's everybody going?
Okay. Easy enough.
I only see darkness.
Likewise.
I see myself at least.
That is true.
I see myself on a background.
Oh, you don't actually have vision on here?
Nope.
No, none of us have vision.
That's irritating.
Yeah, I'm blind.
No eyes,
bad.
Captain.
I mean, Vision is a fairly fantastic guy, but none of us have him.
Do we have anyone who could even make him? That's my question.
How about now?
You are familiar.
Can you see
Still
now?
nothing.
No.
Seriously?
Nope.
Yeah, it's still all black for me.
Can you hear me now?
How about now?
Yeah, it's blacker than usual for me. That's pretty hard.
There we go.
There we
go.
There we go.
Oh my gosh.
I once was blind, now I see.
There we are. Sorry about that. I had the vision turned on in a different area.
Ooh, that crowd looks.
Are they a boy
Yeah.
band?
Imposing.
That's some Children of the Corn shit right there.
I know, right? Like I said, it's just the most anonymous group of dudes you've ever seen. Himbo incarnate. But the group of them are pursuing this girl as she's trying to make her way out towards the doors. Daryl said he was reacting first, hurrying up towards the group, making his way around, trying to impose himself. And the rest of you kind of all start running around with it. And yes, Anesthetic, you are supposed to see too. I'm going to move us over to that overlay map now. And there we are. So there you can see the group of students running off in that direction. You can see the young woman running towards the doors, and all your group right there trying to impose themselves in front of this group. So you just come running around, stepping in front of them. You're just stepping in front of them and stopping, or you trying to talk to these guys, try to get them to stop what they're doing. What's the action here?
I mean, I'm clearly like getting in the way in like an offensive manner. It's like, you can try and come after her, but you're gonna have to go through me.
Okay. The boy in front says, what are you talking about, kid? We're just trying to talk to her.
And if she wanted to talk to you, she would have stopped.
Look, you just don't understand the situation here, and they're going to try to step around you.
Okay, what do I roll to not let them?
Well, what are you trying to do? You just trying to like dance in front of them and keep yourself in their path? Or are you trying to like physically stop them?
Yes, physically stop them.
Okay. Are you like shoulder bumping them? Are you pushing them? How are you trying to stop them? Is what I'm asking.
Yeah, we'll do the getting up in his face type situation.
Okay.
Just,
so it's less than
stare him down and go, "You sure you want to ride this train?"
Okay, so it's you're less being physical with them. You're more doing that intimidating chest bump type of thing. I gotcha. what about the rest of your of the group? You see Daryl stepping up to this group of boys, trying to impose himself. Are you all following him? You all getting around him too?
I
Oh,
certainly
yeah.
am.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to use my.
Go ahead, Jasmine.
Simply, you go ahead. I was gonna say, I was gonna try to use like my canonically tall height to intimidate the dudes.
Okay,
And
I
I
like
think we
it.
tell it.
I like it. And Gwen, what were you saying?
I was going to back her up, honestly. And also say, you're embarrassing yourselves acting like wolves.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
Last time I checked, girls don't run away if they like you. Maybe your mother should have taught you that. But don't worry, we'll wash your mouth out with soap.
So while the game doesn't exactly have intimidation, it does have influence. You're using the no nonsense approach. You use this when you feel like you're talking to what feels like a brick wall, or when they're kind of being a dick. So I want each of you to go ahead and roll influence checks for me.
My sheet has intimidation.
Oh, I think it might be old. I think they replaced it.
They replaced
Yeah.
intimidation with influence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess
I
I'll
asked
need to
that
update
earlier.
that.
Yeah,
I
What
think
should-
that's...
it's you can use either strength or charisma for the roll.
Yikes.
I'll use charisma for this
Neither
one.
of those are particularly great.
My charisma's garbage, so I use strength.
My charisma and my strength are the same.
But I still rolled well, so hell yeah.
I got a 12 at least.
I got a 12 too.
Daryl got an 18
I talked real tough
Yes, he's
for that
stepped
medium
up.
roll.
first, and he's stepping up big.
I think we got 3 12, so it's okay.
Yeah, you got Iris got a 12, Gwen got a 12, Daryl got an 18, and Jasmine got a 12. So all of you are actually being fairly intimidating. And as you come up on this group, Jasmine just, I just got cut off. Jasmine standing there being big and intimidating. Daryl just right up there in that face. Everyone else just really kind of backing them up. And yeah, easily, as a group, you guys knocked it out of the ballpark. These boys just kind of get the big eye of people who don't used to having someone step up and stand up to them. And they very visibly wilt back as a group. And they say, look, we all we wanted to do is talk to her. We're not trying to start any trouble. God, just leave us alone. And they all with their tail between their legs turn and depart.
Sweet.
Now, as they're departing, one of them looks back at you, Daryl, being the one who really kind of led this whole charge, and they said,
Yeah.
"Just watch your back. We're going to be keeping our eye out for you, and you're not always going to have your friends to help."
Threaten my
Neither-
brother again, and
neither
you
are
will
you.
regret it.
Well, the group of boys do walk off and disappear around the corner of the hallway and eventually leave your vision. Daryl, while you did a good job with it, you can't help sit there and dwell a little bit about those ominous remarks they made, and you did take one stress point.
God damn. Alright. Stress point number 2.
Yep.
Counter intimidation.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yeah. While you did scare them off, you have made some enemies today, and you might have some people looking for you in the future. You never know. But in this moment, they do seem to be gone, and your group kind of looks around, and you realize the girl's gone too.
Well, at least she got away. Are you alright,
Yeah.
Daryl?
Yeah. Those guys were posers.
Posers.
Definitely. Do you guys need rides home?
Do you have a car?
Yeah, it's not great, but it probably will take you guys.
I don't mind, as long as Daryl. We should probably head with her.
Sure.
Okay. As you're all kind of sitting there discussing that, I want everyone to make one more perception check as you're all getting ready to leave.
17.
You know what? I'm more concerned with Daryl, so
So then,
I have the 7.
fair enough.
I got a 12. So not bad.
I also got a 17.
Okay.
I got a 20.
Nice. David, you were kind of hanging in the back while the rest of your friends rushed up and got physical with the group. So while they really weren't paying attention too well, but you saw something when the boys were fleeing. You saw which way the girl went, and she had gone
Excellent.
into the girls' bathroom.
Yeah, so I think kind of as that happened, like David is definitely not intimidating. He's a small boy. And four on the group was perfectly fine. So he did hang back here. He kept an eye on the girl, didn't really move or follow, just made sure that she got away in some fashion.
Yeah, and what you did see is that during that commotion where everyone's back was to her and they were all focused on your group, she just kind of very quickly snuck around and went to what would be your left, if you're standing right here, into the girls' bathroom down here.
Good enough.
Okay. So, is there anything else you all want to do before you head out of school and move on to your next phase?
Does he tell us she's in the girls' bathroom?
I think he'll come. Whoa! Oh, I forgot to turn my hardware acceleration on. This is gonna be weird for me. He's gonna come back over to you guys and like, it's okay. She got away. What was that?
It was
I
quite
don't-
strange, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's like they. It was like wolves chasing a rabbit.
I don't know about you all, but that wouldn't have been normal in the schools I went to, but
I mean, there's always some kid who says that one of their relatives is in the Yakuza, but you never believe them.
I suppose that's true.
I mean, the kids I went to high school with, relatives were actually in gangs.
I mean, I haven't seen that around here specifically.
Perhaps we should keep an eye out for such behavior for the rest of the week as well.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think they're making people go missing?
Those guys specifically?
I mean, maybe.
Oof, that's a
You know-
ghastly thought.
I mean, it's kind of a shot in the dark, but like we don't know anything about the other disappearance, and that was weird.
Maybe we should follow them and see what they're up to.
I mean, they already ran. We can't exactly follow them.
A group of 5 boys can't be that hard to find.
They did look a bit generic, though.
Yeah, follow the smell of yeast and Axe body spray.
Woo!
Wow.
Seems plausible.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Perhaps we should split up then.
Let's split up, gang, and search for clues.
Didn't they say they would jump? Didn't they say they would jump us if we found us by ourselves?
Mm.
That's
Yes.
okay, we've got our handy-dandy communicators.
That's assuming that they aren't infected somehow.
Our
If there's villainous
communi-
things afoot, they could potentially turn into some sort of monster.
I don't know that anybody turns into monsters, but sure.
As you're saying this, you look around and you realize that black cat is sitting on top of a locker near you. He looks
Where
down.
did you come from?
He looks down and he says, "Oh, I'm here all the time. You just can't always see me, but I'm usually around."
Well,
That was-
that's just typical cat behavior, isn't it?
And there you are. There's the wanderer right there in cat form. Big
Our
green
cutest
eyes.
overseer.
Yep, your cute overseer. Done by my very good friend, Pink Chic Geek. You should check her out on Instagram. But anyway, as he's looking around at you and he says, "So you saw something pretty strange there, huh? You're right. Those are the kinds of weird things you're supposed to be keeping an eye out. And yes, to answer your question, there are definitely monsters out there. People do monstrous things all the time too. So sometimes it's hard to tell. But you'll know. You'll know once you find them. Your gemstones will glow brightly in the presence of the outsiders."
Oh, I look at my gemstone.
It is dull right now.
Was it glowing when those boys run out? Was it all up in their faces?
Did anyone look?
No.
Oh,
No.
Is it possible to try and
they were.
pinpoint it?
Unfortunately, no. The magical devices aren't that accurate. But once they begin to glow, that's when you go looking for them, and hopefully you'll be able to find them. But at least the crystals alert you once they do show up.
Mhm.
We'll just have to keep an eye on them.
Now, as far as the game's phases itself, your next phase you can do either an investigation or a free time phase. You get to do one of each, but the order of which is kind of up to you. So do you want to immediately begin your investigation and start trying to find different oddities that you can later look into as a Magi-Knight, or do you want to go ahead and spend some free time relaxing and adjusting and getting yourselves prepared for the later events of the day?
I know Gawain is a little bit too keyed up to want to do free time, so he would like to investigate further, at least in his own
Sure.
time.
I'll go with you.
Might as well.
There seems to be a mystery afoot.
Okay, so we're going to be moving from the school phase into the investigation phase, which we're going to be doing right after this break.
Aw, yeah.
We'll be back in about 10 minutes, folks, and when we return, we're going to watch our Magi-Knights go trying to find some weird oddities to investigate. So stay tuned and see what happens. We'll be back in a bit. Howdy, everyone. We are back. Welcome to Magi-Knights, an echo from the stars. When we last left off, the group had just finished school for the day and decided that they wanted to go into their investigation phase immediately after school. Before I get in, I just want to say, Siegester. I'm saying the name right now. What is saying? Welcome back, gang. I apologize, Siegester, for saying your name wrong. I am the worst person in the world at pronunciation. I freely admit this. Loot Bunny also wanted to point something out that I'm going to say. Since the squadron is all there, you can technically do a squadron skill check. And it's a little different than a normal skill check. Now, I'm a D&D player, so every time I see a complicated roll, my mind immediately goes to group skill check and see how that works. But there's actually a little bit different thing called a squadron skill check. So the next time we're in one of those situations, I'm going to have you do one of those, and I'll kind of explain how it works at that point. But we're going to go ahead and jump into our investigation phase. Now, here's how investigation phases work. Basically, during this phase, the squad is going to investigate the presence of the invading evil by collecting information and investigating rumors. This is the phase where they should be investigating into the recent happenings in the city or tracking down any rumors they might have heard throughout the day. So while you're in your student persona, you can really... there's a few different things you can do, really. So you can either do things like look for information in like the newspapers or the magazines, watch television and see what's going on in the news. You can go to around the city. You can go to the cafe and talk to the locals, or perhaps the library and do some research. If you have a lead and somewhere you want to go to speak to somebody further, this is also the time that you would do that. But for right now, I don't think you all have any big leads, or do you? Is there any leads that you're trying to look up, or do you have any ideas of how you want to spend your investigation period?
No, Gawain was concerned about the missing 16-year-old, so he's going to probably dig into that a bit more, just to see if there's been any others in that 15 to 18 age group who have mysteriously gone missing.
Okay, so it sounds so. You want to investigate a little bit more into that, so perhaps looking in the local newspapers and finding more information that way. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, probably the library should have papers or articles about that.
Yeah, definitely. The local library here in the city keeps a pretty well-stocked repository of all the local papers. They have, one of those slide thingies that you look at the old... well, I can't even remember what they're called now. It's been so long, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They definitely have that there. So Gawain's wanting to head to the library to do research there. How about everybody else? You going to go with Gawain, or you have another idea?
I think we're going to head to the...
Go ahead, Jasmine.
I think I'm going to head to the cafe, talk to the locals, we'll check in on how... Because this is after seeing that group of boys and listening to Cordelia talk about her boyfriend's been acting weird, I'm gonna go to the local cafe and see it. The people are talking about how teenage boys have been on the weirder side lately.
Okay, I like it. So one going to the library, one going to the cafe to kind of talk to people. Daryl, I think you had something to say next.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the library, but I'm just gonna try and see if there are people hanging out there that I can talk to instead of checking out the books.
Okay. Okay. So you two, the brothers are heading to the library. What about you, Iris? What do you want me to do?
I was thinking about trying to talk to a teacher, if they're still around, about the guys And or the girl that we saw.
Okay. Well, there are still some teachers in the school. They're probably getting themselves ready to go, but there's always somebody in the office at least till the end of the day. So you could probably start there if you really wanted to. So it sounds like you're looking really to follow the gossip, see what's going on here at the school. David, what about you?
I have a question for you, Magic Keeper.
Mhm.
Does this school or town have a dedicated BBS?
BBS?
BBS is a bulletin board system. It was like the precursor to forums.
Yeah.
It's
okay.
kind of how
Yeah.
people communicate. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. In the early 90s internet.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that there is some of that available. I doubt the school itself uses it very much, but maybe. So like, are you trying to like what are you trying to look for through this?
So I want to poke around whatever local ones there are, to see if I can find rumors of strange happenings, particularly missing people. Try to parse out rumor from truth because I know there's going to be a lot of exaggeration on it. That's just how things happen.
Okay, I dig it. I like where you're going with all this. So here's what we're going to do. Each of you, most of you are working separately. Gwen and Daryl, you're working together. So I'm going to have the two of you roll investigation checks. Or not the two of you together. One of you are going to roll with advantage. You're helping each other. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. You said you're going to work on something different. You're going to talk to...
He's going to talk to people.
Okay, my mistake. So I want each of you two to roll separately investigation checks.
Oh, boy.
Jasmine, you're going to be rolling a persuasion check, looking for... going down to the local cafe and trying to talk to people. Iris, you said you wanted to try to talk to a teacher in the office. So you go ahead and roll a persuasion check as well. David, you're away from your camera, but I'm hoping you can hear me. You are going to roll a STEM check.
Okay.
Okay. And what
Investigation.
we're going to kind of go through this sequentially, one at a time. Whoever rolled the highest, we're going to start with you. But each of you are doing your investigation separately. So there's a few different things that we're going to talk about.
Whoa,
Talk
you
about
got
it, how badly I screwed up.
The Siegester just sent us 100 bits. Thank you, Siegester. Love you.
I got another stress point, didn't I? Oh wait, it's an intelligence roll, so I gotta roll the d6 to see if I even have to make it worse.
Yeah, you do.
Hey!
Nope, you're good. You're good.
It's still a 4 on a nat 1.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
Oh God.
So my character has a heart attack his first day in school.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just not going your way. Looks
you're not
like, let's see. So Dasonie, let's see. Jasmine, you rolled a nat 1 for a 5. David, you rolled a 15 for a 20. Iris, you rolled a 1 as well. Daryl rolled a 1 as well and got a 4. Gwen, you got a 19. Whew, those are some rough rolls. So we're going to start things off with you, David. You said you wanted to check the bulletin boards throughout this area. Basically, you're checking message boards, looking for anyone talking about weird stuff or anything like that. That kind of sound about right?
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the first things that pop up for you, David, is a news article about a toy shop that recently opened just a week ago in town. The place is called Wonderland Curiosities, and the reason the news article is talked about is about how fast this place seems to be selling out of their merchandise. They're having record sales, and they've only been open a little more than a week. Anesthetic's also sending us a bunch of bits, and Rainbow Solar Nova says, "Roll 20, making Dice Maiden look generous." And yeah, they're rolling pretty harsh today. But anyway, Wonderland Curiosities is owned by a man named Edwin Wagner, and when he was interrupted, or when he was interviewed, he talked about his wonderful merchandise, these handmade toys and objects that he makes and sells, and it was a big thing. But like he seemed reticent to show any of his workshop or any of his carving techniques. He was happy to show the what's it called, the show floor, but wouldn't let the reporters come back beyond that, which people are talking about that a lot. Like, what does this guy have in his back room? Why is he not willing to let anybody see that? How is he making these things so well? What's his special technique? And so there's just a lot of chatter about this on the web boards. The other thing that pops up is a local show, a local TV show on, what's Wayne's World on Public Access TV. This new show on Public Access TV is called Paranormal Seekers, and it's hosted by the Peterson brothers, Brad and Chad. It's getting a lot of traction, actually. They tend to investigate a lot of local sites, local hauntings, and they've got a really big online following. They're basically ghost chasers. But unfortunately, you can't watch the show because it's on Tuesdays, and today's Monday. But you mark that down as well.
Damn.
Now, Gawain.
Yeah.
You go to the library with your brother, Daryl, and you split off almost immediately. Him kind of being pumped up by that fight that he just avoided, goes off to talk to anybody in the library, while you said you were more interested in like the newspapers and things of that nature. So you head over to the microfinches and begin looking through the papers. And you do see that over the last 2 months or so, there's definitely been more disappearances than normal. One sticks out to you, and actually you find this newspaper article that I'm going to show you right now.
Hello.
For the purposes of this, while the actual Magi-Knights system takes place in Lazuli City, for our game, as a nod to my homebrew world of Loropa, we're calling this Loropa City. So, while it does say the Lazuli Chronicle, we're going to call it the Loropa Chronicle. And one of the articles in it is that 3 teens entered one of the forests on the outside of town, Azura Echo Forest. 2 disappeared completely. One of them, a young man by the name of, I'm blanking here, so I'm looking, Peter Smithson, made it out alive, injured. His parents took him home, and he was beginning to recover, but then suddenly, out of nowhere, he died. The other 2 boys, Eric Miller and Heath Bookman, have not been seen, and the police spent a good month searching Azura Echo Forest, but unfortunately, neither of the boys' bodies were found.
Quite disturbing. I think after that, he's going to go and try and find Daryl and see if he has to, like, help him out of any trouble he got into.
Well, yeah. So, let's see here. Gwaine, you go to look for your brother. Tensy Dragon is saying, think they are legit investigators or the type that go in and yell at ghosts. Cast your votes now. Yeah, that's a good question about the ghost hunters here in town. Maybe
Hi, that's me.
That's you.
Me. That's just me.
Siegester saying definitely number 2. Okay. Anyway, Daryl, he's moving around and trying to find people to talk to, but God, people don't go to the library to have a chit chat. They go to read and to look things up. And every time you walk up to somebody, they just turn and look at you really irritated with that shh. And you get shushed several times. Like there's just a whole bag of shush with your name on it.
I like chocolate.
But eventually, Gwaine does come and rescue you just about the time the librarian is shooting daggers in your direction, and it's probably time to head home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iris, you went to talk to one of the teachers, and you wandered about school for about 20 minutes, but everyone seems to be packing up and leaving, and no one really had any interest in talking to you. Most of the other responses you got is, don't worry about that, just focus on your studies. That's all you need to be worrying about. Let the police handle any kind of strange matters that are happening in town. Jasmine? Yeah. You as well, my friend. You head to the local cafe and start trying to talk to people, but you're the new kid in town. Nobody knows who the hell you are, and they honestly find your presence more intimidating than inspiring to talk. And every time you approach somebody and just start asking them questions, you just get shot down. Yes.
Oh no, I was just fully pantomime. Hello. Ah shit, this is.
Yeah. You're getting that. Who's this stench walking up to us kind of look, and no one really wants to talk to you. But eventually, you hear the call of your friends saying, what they found, conversing with one another for a minute, and by the end of this, it's probably around 6 o'clock, early afternoon. You have maybe an hour or so before you know that the Wanderer is going to be looking for you, wanting you to go on patrol. But you do have some free time first. That free time works like this. During this phase, you're able to make time to do a variety of popular things that other students might normally do and put their minds at ease. The Magic Keeper and Magi-Knights should take a short amount of time to narrate what you're doing during this free period. So that's what we're talking about. So here's the things that you can do during your free period. You can go to the movies. You can head up the arcade. You can play sports with a friend. You can go to a local festival or grab a treat and go to the park. You can have a relaxing day at the spa. Eat a meal at a restaurant. Speak with a herald. Take a moment of catharsis. Hang out with a close friend. Head to the mall and do some shopping. Or hit the town and go on a hot date. But you do have to have a lot of social points to do that. So we're going to kind of ignore that. Now, if you look on, let's see, it starts off in page 89 of the handbook. It talks a little bit about the different things you can do during your free time and what results there are. Like, for example, if you go to the arcade, you get to hang out and play and have fun at the arcade. You get to heal 2 stress points. And the Herald is actually kind of apparently obsessed with collecting objects from this place. So you can win prizes. Going to the mall gives 2 social points. Going out to eat gives you the well-fed effect and allows you to roll your next skill check saving throw with advantage. Going to the movies heals 1 stress point, and you gain a social point, which you can spend on anyone who attends. Playing sports reduces the stress points by 4, but if you fail your athletics or acrobatics check, you can get an exhaustion point. Exhaustion point. Said that really weird. Anyway, for a moment of catharsis, you can attempt to purify some of the darkness that clouds your soul crystal. This usually comes up after fighting and things like that. You're trying to purge yourself of a trauma point. This doesn't really affect you all right now. Conversing with the Herald about the invading evil gives you possibly some information, obscure piece of lore, or an answer to a magical question. And you also get an inspiration point. So inspiration points are pretty good to have. Each of you have a skill that's related to your student type, and that's what you use your inspiration points with. Going on a hot date you can do, but you have to have a pretty good bond with them, I believe. So can't really do that. Resting and relaxation removes 2 stress points and 1 exhaustion point. Study or completing homework helps you out in school. You can do combat training. You can go to a part-time job and earn some stuff. Let's see. Some of it's pretty good though. Reduce 1 stress and gain 1 tally. Gain 2 tally. Yeah. Desire tallies are pretty useful. You collect desire tallies to obtain desired objects. There's also a couple other things: mandatory detention and grinding a new rice, grinding a new player. But you don't have to really work about that. Let's see. Anesthetic is saying about the Ghost Hunter show. Gosh, I hope it's like that Ghost Adventures show. I don't know if anyone's ever seen that one. Siegester is saying, whoever keeps getting stressed the fuck out definitely needs a spa day.
It's me. I'm the one getting stressed out.
So go ahead and take a look at the different free time things you can do. Whoever knows what they're going to do, raise your hand, let me know. Okay, I think Daryl actually had his hand up first, and I'll go clockwise from there.
Going to the arcade.
Going to the arcade. Okay. Jasmine?
I'm going to the mall.
Going to the mall. I like it. Gawain?
I'm going to speak with the Herald.
Nice. Okay. The Herald poofs off right there on your shoulder and wraps its tail around your neck to keep balance and says, yeah, we can talk. I don't see why not. David.
I'm so tempted to pet you, but...
Is the Herald, like, with all of us? Can I also talk to the Herald, or is that kind of a one-person...
Well, multiple people can do the same thing, so you can talk to the Herald, too. Probably okay. The 2 of you are doing this together.
Let's hang out with the Herald.
Yeah.
Let's do the free time action, give the Herald catnip.
Let's see what happens.
Get the Herald high. Get the Herald high.
Oh, he would just roll it like a joint. Iris, what would you do? You're muted.
I'll probably go to the mall and beyond. I'll hang out with that gym friend that I made. The nameless gym friend.
The nameless gym friend? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nameless gym friend and Jasmine.
No, that's his name. It's Jim Friend.
Gym friend.
Jim friend. Jim friend.
J-I-M.
Yeah, his name is Jim, and he's a friend from gym class.
Hey, why not? Why not? Okay. Well, so let's see. Jasmine and the way that says is it's time to buy some new stuff. Whether it's new music, games, clothes, or whatever else, something in your collection is new and shiny. You get to gain 2 social points, and these points must be split between multiple character choices. So, the 2 of you head out to the mall. Let's see, what was the name of the mall? I actually wrote this down.
Tell us, MK.
It's E01.
Yeah, it's the Europa Galleria. And actually, I have a map.
Oh
And
my
now you do
god.
too. There it is, Europa City. And I'm going to show it to everyone watching as well. There it is. Isn't it beautiful? Now, down over in this area, to the... What is that? The southeastern side, the forests over there, that's not the echolocation. The one to the north is. That's the big forest where those kids disappeared.
That unintentional pun.
Yes. That red dot there, that's actually your school, Coltrast Academy.
Seems legit.
Loot Bunny's saying, Jim from the gym.
Jim from the gym, yep.
And Sister is appreciative of the map. But there it is. There's Europa City in all of its splendor.
Nice.
But yeah, you can head to the Europa Galleria. Iris, are you nice enough? Or I'm sorry, Jasmine, are you nice enough to give Iris a ride to the mall with her buddy?
Yeah, I'll give them a ride. I'm not gonna let the kids walk.
Yeah.
The kids have to put the same age.
Yeah, that's nice of you. So you, Iris, and grabbing up Jim from the gym. God damn, that's wow. Okay, yeah, grabbing up Jim from the gym. Iris and Jasmine head off to the Europa Galleria. It is a beautiful mall. Lots of fun stuff to do there. Plenty of shops, and you have a pretty good, relaxing time. You get to do a little retail therapy, maybe hang out and grab a snack at the food court. It's fun. And each of you gain 2 social points to give to, 2 different individuals. Yourselves is a good one. And maybe Jim from the gym.
I was planning on.
I was gonna make up one. I was, of course, gonna give one to Iris, but what if there was a cool dude who had a record shop? Because I knew I wanted to get an album.
Hey, absolutely. There is definitely a record shop in the mall, and there's a pretty cute-looking dude wearing leathers and got some chains going on, a little bit of tattage, who has no problem chatting up with you.
Yeah, I was wondering if you guys had the early copies of the Waiting to Exhale album from the movie.
Yeah, he seems a little surprised by this, but he gives you a big old grin and walks you back to this section of new releases. And, he does that thing where he bends over to reach out and grab the record, and as he does, his shoulder brushes yours. Then he stands back and hands you the record that you're looking for.
Thanks. I'm Jasmine. What's your name?
Oh, God. Give me a good tough boy name, real quick. First one to shout it out.
Jared,
there we go. Yeah, my name's Jared. I play guitar.
I would assume so. Let me guess, black acoustic?
Yeah, I got a Fender. It's pretty cool. You should come check us out sometime. We played down by the dumps and...
I don't make it a habit to going to the dumps, but maybe I'll check it out this once.
No, the dumps is a nightclub down on the south side. It's great. You'll like it. You'll really appreciate that vibe. Loot Bunny's saying he sounds so not excited about his guitar.
That's what makes him so cool.
Yeah, It's the 90s, so he's in that late stage grunge where grunge is no longer cool, but he's keeping it alive. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Because, like, yeah, maybe I'll check it out if they don't ID me at the door.
Nah, you'll be fine. It's
That's concerning.
1995.
I'll talk to you later, Jared. I'll talk to you later, Jared. I'm pretty sure there are a couple of albums that I might need coming through here.
Yeah, I'll keep my eye out for you, Jasmine.
You should.
Oh, jeez.
Iris, what are you doing during that time?
That's a good question. What are stores that are at malls generally? I'm trying to think. It's been a while since I've been at a mall.
Toy store, computer games, bookstore.
Lots of clothing stores, lots of
Candy
overpriced
shops.
stores.
It's
Panties,
95.
pretzels.
There's an EB Games somewhere.
Oh
Ladies.
God.
Definitely.
Maybe a Candyopolis if you're feeling.
The Candyopolis. Let's see.
I'm losing it.
Probably like a sports store, sporting goods store.
Oh,
do
dicks.
We have a new first-time chatter who's said a few things that I haven't been able to say yet because I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce that name, and I sure as hell can't. But they said that Twin Pines Mall would have been a better name, probably.
Lol.
And
Well.
there's definitely a hidden adult store somewhere in that mall.
Definitely not Spencer's. Totally
It's just-
not.
It's just Spencer's.
It's just Spencer's, yeah.
We're gonna rebrand it to Jeff's.
Do that.
So did you do anything exciting, Iris? If not, we can move on. It's fine.
Yeah, we can just move on.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So let's see. That was Iris and Jasmine. We're gonna go in between the two of them here on my my screen and say Daryl. You wanted to
Sure.
hit up the arcade.
Yep.
Okay. Now the arcade is a really bright and lively place. Like, you know, I in the Midwest we had Tilt. I don't know if everyone else had that, but I thought it was great at the time. And just a big, bright arcade, usually at the bottom of a mall, but we're going to say it was somewhere else. Somewhere in the middle of the city, we've got Bright Crystal Arcade. And at Bright Crystal Arcade, they got all of the latest 1995 games. The Simpsons are there, probably the Ninja Turtles are there. I think there was Golden Axe 2 or 3 out at the time. I'm only vaguely remembering from my childhood, but there's definitely pinball games. There's definitely skee-ball. Lots of prizes to win, including a fairly interesting grouping of prizes. So, the way this works is you got to go and play one of those gotcha claw machine games. There's stuff in there that the Herald probably likes. And in return, you can get some shards of power, which are pretty freaking good.
Nice. So first I'm going to heal my 2 stress points.
Yeah, definitely want to do that before the night.
Because Jesus. And aside from the gacha game, I'm going to play that arcade game that's about the cowboys who are also actual cows.
Okay. I have no idea what game that was.
I think it was the Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Cowboys in Moo Mesa.
Oh my
Yeah, they were
God.
like the sheriffs or something, but they were also
Yeah.
like actual cow people.
Yeah.
Siegster's saying the gotcha machine is full of milk jug rings.
Yes.
Well,
It's just a crane game.
Yeah, what they actually do have is a bunch of different things. Plushies, statuettes, things of that nature. Now, you haven't had much time to spend with the Herald, but as you're leaving, because Gawain and David said they want to hang out and talk with them, the Herald says to you, "Oh, you're going to Bright Crystal Arcade? Yeah, I love that place. You should definitely try the gacha machine and get me one of those statuettes. If you get a good one, I'll trade you something really cool for it.
All right, I'll do my best.
Io is what I'm kind of guessing. Ioko, maybe. One's even got a Tamagotchi designed for Digimon. That's what they're saying.
Let me roll that
Yep.
D100.
Yeah, roll that D100. Let's see what you get.
83.
83. Nice.
I got something.
Yeah, you do. You go over to the gacha machine, put your money in, and begin to move around, and you see something. It's not huge, but it's there on top, and you're like, yeah, I can got this. You maneuver that crane around, hit the button, it goes moving down, grasp onto this little statuette. It appears to be a statue of Anubis, which is an Egyptian god. You pull it out and you're like, this is kind of interesting. It's onyx black. It's kind of tchotchke-ish, but it's kind of cool. I bet the Herald would like this. And eventually, when you meet up with them, sure enough, they're going to give you an item of rarity 2 or less.
Nice.
So, I actually built a handout for the Shards of Power.
Oh, really? Sweet. Well, then I need to look at that.
Boom, there it is.
Thank you.
Okay, so a 2 or less can give you a Shard of Mending, lesser is a 1. As a free action, the shard heals 1d12 plus 1 hit points per Magi-Knight level. The 2-star ones, I'm going to call them 2-star because that makes sense to me for a gacha. The 2-star ones is the Shard of Confidence. The use of this shard adds a plus 1d12 to the next skill check made, or a Shard of Lesser Clarity. The use of this shard restores a number of mana points equal to 1d10 plus 1 per level of the Magi-Knight.
Now, these go away when you use them, right?
Yes, it is a one-time use. This is your health potions, basically.
The Shard of Confidence, can I use that when I'm not transformed?
Yes, you can use that at any point. So you can use that if you need to do something throughout your day, too.
Okay, I will take the Shard of Confidence, then.
Loot Bunny's telling me that Lee Yoko is an easy way to remember it, so I'll remember that Lee Yoko. Thank you.
So yes, I will take a Shard of Confidence.
You got it. Shard of Confidence for you, and maybe that'll help you tomorrow, or sometime today. Who knows?
Maybe.
David and Gwen. While the rest of your group heads off to whatever it is they want to do for your free time, Tensei's Dragon is saying, like the show Code Lyoko that hasn't aired yet because it's 1995. Never seen Code Lyoko, but I'll take a look for it. I got Crunchyroll.
You should watch it, and that's still me. No, literally, I'm Tensei Dragon. I'm very bad at branding.
Fair enough. So that's literally you. Good to know.
It's literally me.
Anywho. So, David and Gwen, the two of you decided to spend your time conversing with the Herald. Now, the Herald was sitting there on your shoulder, Gwen, and you and David decided to head off to a quiet spot to chat. I don't know, you want a park or someone's house or even, an alleyway. It's up to you.
Gawain would suggest the park.
Okay.
Okay.
There's definitely a nearby park, one of those little kiddie things that has, swings, jungle gym, something like that. Yeah. And
You're less likely to be looked at like a crazy person at a children's park talking to a cat.
Yeah. No, you're just special. But sure enough, you do find a nice park nearby, and head over to that. And once you reach there, the Herald jumps down off of your shoulder, sits on one of the swings by himself, and just kind of waits for the two of you. Now he says, not sure what exactly you're wanting to know, but I'll help you out the best I can. As his tail is swishing and those wings kind of fold back on on his back. Now, the funny thing you notice, there are a few kids that are playing here on the playground. A few in this in the sandbox, a couple on the jungle gym, one at the far end of the swinging by himself. But nobody seems to give the cat any notice or attention, which is strange because, if you're a group of kids and you see a cat coming up, the first thing you want to do is go running up to him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. These kids pay no notice to the Herald whatsoever.
I think
push
Gawain
the
would...
herald on the swing.
Oh, quick. I think Gawain would try to position himself so that it looks like he's talking to David and not empty air.
Yeah, absolutely. Just you got to swing between you, give you both some space. You don't want to make this weird or anything. So yeah, of course. No, I get it. I vibes. I get it. So yeah,
You don't want to make this weird.
I don't want to make this weird, but I'm a European talking to an American.
So what are you wanting to know from the Herald?
Wanderer, I wanted to understand a bit more about the invading evil.
Okay. What are you wanting to know?
Where exactly did it come from? I understand that it comes from the stars, I believe is what you said earlier, but...
The outsiders, yes, they come from a distant realm far beyond our solar system here. We don't know much about them. We know these are malevolent spirits, spirits of conquest that seek to enslave all life as we know it. And he seems to be hesitating a little bit. I would like each of you to make a mysticism check.
Hey,
All right, we're in sync. We're doing good.
Oh.
That's got to mean something, right?
The outsiders are beings of great power, but their powers tend to be on the more mental side of things. They enslave the minds of man and use them to do their bidding. They gather people together to bring more of them into our world, summoning outsider spirits, which then can take possession of people, corrupt them, and make them unable to do anything but the will of those who control them. Oftentimes, the people who they corrupt have no knowledge of what they're doing. At first, they're just tempted. Tempted with, and he kind of shrugs and he flicks his tail. Whatever it is that you humans tend to covet. Sometimes they whisper. Sometimes they make you afraid and make you dwell upon the worst aspects of yourself and corrupt you that way. But no matter how they're corrupted, once that evil has taken hold, they're unable to control themselves, their actions. These people are different than those who give themselves willingly to the outsider. The ones who give themselves willing, and he shakes his head, they cannot be saved.
Mm.
And kind of shrugs a little bit again. Is there anything else I can tell you?
Wait,
I was gonna
do
say,
we
go ahead.
know? Yeah. Do we know like how long has this been going? How many are there? Like, do we get tactics? Something?
I don't understand what you mean.
like it's an invading force. So like, are they coming? Is something already here? Like, what's our position in this right now?
Okay. Considering the roles that you have, his reply is, as near as I can tell, there's only one of them here now. I can sense at least that much, but every opportunity they have, they're going to try to bring in more. The more of them that are here in our world, the more powerful they become, and the more their influence grows. That's, as far as I can tell, that's their goal right now, to bring out more of them.
Okay, well that feels pretty easy, because if we get rid of the one, then there's none here anymore to bring others through. Is that right?
That's a hope, yes. That you can find the one that's here and stop them before they can bring in any more.
That's got to be easy, right?
So far on paper, it sounds easy.
Yeah.
The cat kind of gives you it's hard to, it's really hard to discern because you know he's a cat. But go ahead and make an insight check.
Ooh, I have mastery in that one. Hopefully that means something. Hey, it did mean something.
It doesn't mean anything to me.
Loot Bunny's saying, Gawain, you need to rub Wander's belly.
Yes.
Yeah, Lyoko is saying probably not, but the Wanderer is just sitting there, and I don't know, maybe you do get the inkling to rub his belly or something, I don't know. But with your 23 insight, you can definitely tell that the cat is holding something back.
Is there something else we should know?
The cat kind of shrugs a little bit, and you know what cats do when they're visibly irritated. Their ears kind of go back. Their tail is twitching and flicking a little bit. These are the verbal or the nonverbal cues that Gawain's picking up. There is definitely something there that he's not telling you all, but he also seems like closed up and reserved, and doesn't seem to want to speak any more about it right now.
Well,
That
you don't
doesn't
have
mean
to
you
speak
can't.
about it.
Because remember, you can always try. I'm just telling you what you're reading.
Well, I think we've had a pretty interesting start to our investigation. Perhaps we can learn more later. David, do you want someone to walk you home?
No, I think I can find the way.
Okay. Then I think that's it for tonight. I certainly have a curfew to get back home.
Well, it's funny you say that, but the herald looks over at you and says, "Get home." Oh, no. And he looks around and says, "Oh, yeah, it's definitely getting dark, but now you have to go on patrol."
Oh.
What?
I suppose that makes sense.
And now that he's saying this, all of you realize that whatever pocket or whatever is holding the crystals that you have in your possession, each one of them is glowing faintly.
Mine would be a brooch, so it would probably be visible to David as well.
Yeah, as the sun went down, that brooch very gently is beginning to glow.
I think
Oh.
David just notices that one and then like pulls out his own and goes, "Oh,
Do we have a long-range communicator right now, or am I am I losing my mind?
No, you actually
Yeah.
do have a long-range communicator that was given to you by the Herald.
Okay, I think Gawain will use that, and he's going to say into it, at the park, David and we've noticed that our soul crystals are glowing. How about the rest of you?
Is Iris glowing as well?
Iris, where are you right now?
At the mall with Jasmine and Jim.
1 second here.
Or coming back from there.
Yeah, probably just driving you home
Yeah,
first.
I'm going to say that no. Iris and Jasmine, the two of you you're actually, yeah, and Daryl as well. All three of you are kind of near the outskirts in different parts of the city, but none of your soul gems are glowing right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, I'll
where are
hop
you
on my
guys?
bike and start heading to the park then, I guess.
We're at the park.
I-
The one with
I
the
touched-
children's playground?
yeah, I tell Jem to get out my car and drive off.
Get
So-
a random NPC.
So, yeah, Jim from the gym, he's just sitting there like he didn't hear any of the communications that are going on because it only works for the Magi-Knights. The magic enchanted in that does not work for anyone other than you. So he has no clue what the hell's going on. You're just kind of talking a little bit and, oh, Jim, get out of my car.
It's not. I'm really sorry. My mom. I just got a page from my mom. She only pages me if it's emergencies. I don't think I can drop you off. I gotta go.
Okay. Make a persuasion check real quick.
Yes, because pagers are still a thing.
Oh my god, yeah.
They were.
Yes,
They're still in use in
Yeah.
hospitals.
Are they?
they have a better.
Yep.
They better have a better range.
No, for sure they do.
Phones don't get receptions in the hospital basements, so they can't really use them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's one way to skip
they're
out
saying,
onward.
damn, Jim the gym maid. That's really brutal. And Luke Bunny's saying, poor Jim.
He can walk. He can take the fucking bus. I got a 19.
Yeah, with your 19, he like very bashfully gets out from the back seat of your car, and it's awkward because it's those folding forward seats, and there's only two doors, so one of you has to lift forward to get him out, and like it's a weird thing, and you all feel awkward about it after the fact, and he just kind of stands there on the sidewalk, looking mopey and dejected as Jasmine hits the gas and.
I peel off immediately.
Yeah, I figured you would. You just peel off.
We're teenagers. We're gonna forget this awkward moment years from now.
No,
I
it's
don't
gonna.
know about that.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't know.
You're gonna stay up in the middle
I
of the
came
night,
off on
remember?
that situation. I don't know if Jim's gonna text you back later.
Iris pokes her head out the windows, just like, bye, I'll come by if I got time.
I love Iris.
Okay, Rainbow Solar Nova is saying, "Good thing you barely know him, and not that he's a good friend." And the teacher's saying, "Okay, it's official. Jasmine's a bad bitch."
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yes. Keep complimenting.
Jasmine doesn't play.
Loot Bunny's saying, "No wonder Jasmine and Cordelia get along."
About to say.
Yeah.
I did love Cordelia from Buffy too.
Oh yeah, you did.
I did. I simply did. And I hated Xander.
I mean, same.
World's biggest op.
All right.
Okay,
We're
so
on our way.
yep, you all are on your way. I'm looking something up real quick. Give me half a second.
No,
On
you're not
our
allowed to
way.
do research.
Nerds.
We're on our way at the noble speed of a tortoise.
Indeed.
I'm kind
No. That's just Daryl because he's on a bike.
Yeah, that's right.
Rainbow's saying, time for Jasmine to wear pink in 2 days, Wednesday.
Why?
Badass Barbie?
No, there's on Wednesdays we wear pink is from something, but I have no idea what.
Oh, that does sound familiar now that you say that.
Yeah.
I want to say Legally Blonde, but I don't think that's right.
I don't have a clue. I've just seen the phrase around. Wait, no, it's Mean Girls, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yep,
Mean
Mean
Girls.
Girls. That's what chat's
Okay.
saying.
It's
Mean
one of the
Girls.
two.
That's what it says when I looked it up, at least.
Okay, so yeah, Jasmine and Iris are speeding off in Jasmine's car, trying to get towards the park. Gawain and David, the two of you know right now, somewhere out in the city, something's going on. Your crystals are glowing, and the herald says to you, "You know it's got to be somewhere here in at least a 2-mile radius. It can't be too far away. That's the limit of your crystals."
Is it possible to get a better sense of direction and where it's coming from?
Yeah, David is definitely doing the like trying to
Yeah.
watch
The radar.
it glows
Unfortunately,
brighter in
that's
one
not.
direction.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not how they work. They give off detection that something's going on in a 2-mile radius, but they don't like dim the farther away you get or glow brighter the closer you get.
What about the purity skill?
What about the purity skill?
It says additionally, by channeling your soul crystal, you can detect the location of spectral outsiders.
Hmm.
Like a compass.
Yeah, let's see.
I don't know that David knows how to do that, so I'm going to pass on that one.
I
I've
have
got, like,
proficiency in purity.
+6 in purity from proficiency and mastery, so...
I have +4.
Let's see. So with the
That's-
abilities of the
Actually-
you have reveal outsiders. As long as you possess your soul crystal, it constantly draws upon the negative energies that are naturally discharged from a servant of evil. While in either your student or Magi-Knight persona, a soul crystal will illuminate if it passively detects a spectral outsider within 2 miles. This only detects their general direction, and it is incapable of pinpointing. However, this trait is always active and pierces through nearly all earthly materials, and as a standard action, you can invoke the power of your soul crystal to make an opposed purity check versus the outsider's stealth check to pinpoint their location to a 120-foot area. So that is
Nice.
interesting.
Hmm.
And yeah, I suppose the Herald would actually explain a little bit about how this works. Siege, you're saying it's one of the habits of the plastics. I'm assuming that's from Mean Girls.
Yeah.
Yoko's saying Q Rita Repulsa is sending a humanoid turtle with a stoplight on its back to the city. And Aesthetic's handing out some more bits. Thank you, Anesthetic. So David, you said that's really not something you would be up for because, you know, this is all new to you. Gawain?
Yeah. He would try.
Okay. The Herald tells you, focus your purity upon the crystal and see if it gives you a bit better of a location.
Okay. So, I'm kind of tempted to use my student ability for this.
Okay, what's your student ability?
You may use inspiration, and as a free action, your next mysticism, performance, coordination, or purity skill check result becomes a 20 plus mod. This ability must be used before the dice are rolled and only during a non-combat encounter.
Do you have inspiration?
I do.
Nice.
Yeah,
Ooh.
absolutely.
All right, I will do that. That would be a 24 total then. I will take off the inspiration. Oh, the one I got from the talk with the Herald, I wanted to give that to Daryl.
You want to give that to Daryl? You can just do that. I don't see why not.
I meant to say that earlier and I forgot. I wouldn't have been able to keep it.
Hooray, inspiration.
Okay. I'm going to roll here real quick. Give me 1 second.
I put it in Roll20 chat for my purity.
Okay.
Purity.
He's a pure boy.
That's pretty pure.
Yeah, you know. What's your purity modifier?
+4.
+6.
Oh shit!
I'm not.
Cute +2.
2 of us are holier than thou.
Yeah,
To be
my two best skills are leadership and insight because I have mastery on them.
This is almost impossible.
I mean, it makes sense for me. I didn't fully peel off on a kid.
What?
Wow.
Did I just beat it?
Well, oddly enough, meet it or beat it. So, yeah. Somehow, you managed to focus. And it's hard. It's barely there, somewhere out there in the distance, but you feel it. You feel somewhere closer to you. Ayoko's saying, my cat is ramming her belly into the wall door to one of the closed rooms. I'm sorry to hear that. But yes, you can detect that in the distance, about 120 feet away, towards the city, you can see several warehouse buildings coming up in that direction. You think you sense the presence of an outsider.
I think you'll go into the long-range communicators and he's going to say, I've attempted to try and pinpoint that location a bit better, but it looks like, from what I'm feeling, it could be from the warehouses near here. We'll wait for you, though, here at the park, just in case.
I'll pick you guys up. I shouldn't be that far anyway. We push through the yellows.
I'm sure that's not legal, but I'll pretend I didn't hear that.
It's legal. It only says slow down. I slowed down from what I was originally.
I don't know how accurate that is, but I'm also not familiar with European culture.
Okay.
Hip hip cheery, I'm on my way.
Jasmine, since you are the one driving, I'm going to have you roll this. I want you to roll 1d4 plus 1.
Ooh.
That's the number of accidents you cause.
Seems a bit low.
Cars you hit. Net
Two.
one.
A good Christian show.
Okay, that's not too bad. It's going to take you a little time to catch up with your comrades, but not a huge amount of time.
Where's my brother?
Yeah, Daryl,
I
I need you to roll as well. How are you trying to get there, by the way? Because you heard the call, you were at the arcade. How are you
Bike,
trying to
I guess.
get there? Bike?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're going to roll a 1d6 plus 1.
I'm assuming we're allowed to have a bike.
Yeah, you can have a bike. I don't see why not.
They were pretty popular in the 90s.
Absolutely.
Yikes. Well, I rolled the best possible result. A 7, which might screw me.
Yeah, you're kind of far away. You're a bit. Jasmine has that car. She's going as fast as she can. She's hitting those yellow lights. Probably more than one turn red on her, but you know she's making some pretty good headway. You, on the other hand, on your bike.
Not many bike paths.
Yeah, not many bike paths. You're pumping as hard as you can. You're fairly dexterous, aren't you?
Yeah, 14 dex.
Yeah, so you're okay, Dex, and you're not going to get any exhaustion points trying to do this, but it's going to take you a little bit more time than it is Jasmine and Iris. So
Hey, at least I know I'm going to end up alive when I get there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all I'm saying.
But Gawain, you get the sense that it's a few blocks down. You're just walking and holding that crystal, and David's, I assume, following along behind you, and the cat as well is actually flying, just hovering a little bit right between the two of you. You get the sense
David's hand is on this cat.
David's hand's on the cat.
Yeah. I want it to be known in perpetuity, if one of his hands is free and he is within touching distance of this cat and it's letting him, he is petting this cat.
Probably the cat's like swatting at you with his tail, like, no, David, not right. Oh, no. Like it's a little bit of that.
You're distracting me.
But night is definitely falling upon the city. Darkness is in full effect. The street lamps are aglow, though at least 1 in 6 is probably out. Are you remaining in your student forms during this time period?
Gawain's getting a little bit nervous, but I think for now he's going to stay in his student form.
Yeah.
While I'm riding my bike, yes.
I'll transform in the car. That sounds funny.
Wonder Woman is driving the car.
Are you
That is the
actually,
transform-
Jasmine?
Oh, yeah. Shine down the night sky. But
No.
then took the form of a ring. And you just see the ring glow as I grip the steering wheel.
And an important question. Is the car somehow part of the transformation sequence this time?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Describe this for us,
Girl,
Jasmine.
Edna?
Paint us a word picture of what this transformation in your car looks like.
I mean, I think it looks like the car should have, like, a mosaic of the night sky appears in front of us, and the car drives through it. As, like, the standard magical girl transformation so you have, I'm lifted out of the car. One by one, the armor takes place, a black undercoat with constellation gauntlets, breastplate, like a battle skirt, and boots, steel-toed boots, basically. When her headband shows up with her gem now in the center of it. And the car now has a night sky decal on it, like a black, now it's a black convertible with a night sky decal on the side.
Yeah, I love it. It is impressive. And Iris, you're sitting there next to Jasmine, like, yeah, exactly. That exact face right there.
Holding onto the steering wheel as she flies out of the car to transform so that crash.
I'm sure there's a little bit of that.
Something like that before, so.
And like this, he's just skid a little bit and swerve.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. Well, Gawain, you and David are making your way towards where you think the source of this feeling is. How are you proceeding? Are you just walking down the city street, looking down alleyways? What? Tell me exactly what the two of you are doing.
I think Gawain is going to be keeping an eye out for like other people, and while he's sensing for this outsider, this feeling as it gets stronger. He's also going to keep an eye out for what might be a lady flooring it in a car, and hopefully he
In a
doesn't get
glowing
hit.
car.
Okay. David, how about you?
No, he's just following along. Like, he doesn't know how to track anything, so he's putting full trust in Gawain here.
Okay. I like it. I'd like the both of you to make perception checks.
Oh.
Ten.
8.
Oh, well.
Yeah, you're walking
It's hard.
the sidewalks.
Kitty.
Trying, just boldly looking back and forth. Every time a crosswalk comes along, you look both ways. Every time an alleyway comes nearby, you're glancing down it. And while you do see people on occasion, grouped down an alleyway, another few coming out of a bar, a couple walking down the street, most people seem to be more either ignoring you completely or hurrying along to their homes. People don't tend to stay out late at night. And honestly, even the bars are usually closed by 10 o'clock, so it's not uncommon for people to be hurrying. But as you continue to walk farther and farther along, trying to figure out where the source is, neither of you are unable to find anything out of the ordinary. And the Herald himself seems to be kind of perturbed a little bit, flicking his tail, ruffling his wings. He's flown up a little higher now and is looking around, and he's like, there's got to be something around here. Your crystal's glowing. It's obvious there's something. Jasmine, eventually you come skidding around the corner, almost fishtailing a little bit before you right yourself. Make an acrobatics check for me, I think.
Hopefully, if anybody doesn't want to get hit, they moved by now.
I'm just letting you know
actually,
now. My
you know
dex is not good.
You can also do a coordination.
Ooh,
I'll
bitch,
check out
get
the
out the
road.
way, get out the way, bitch, get out the way.
Oh no.
Can I help? Because I got coordination.
I'll take whatever I can get.
Yeah, go ahead, Iris. Go ahead and make a coordination check as well. Because as Jasmine is skidding around that corner, that fishtail is hitting just a little harder, and you're starting to spin.
Oh no. That was a 14 for Iris.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a 14, Iris, you reach out and grab the wheel just in time, pulling it back. And Jasmine, you're forced to slam on your brakes as the headlights come face to face with Daryl on his bike.
Oh,
Hey, doll, get in the back.
Nice. So, what save do I make to avoid a heart attack?
I suppose that'd just be a straight con check. Constitution check.
oh god. I'm gonna
Situation.
lose my brother.
Maybe.
I didn't hit him. The car stopped at the time.
Oh my
It's
god.
a 14. I'm probably okay.
Yeah, you're fine. Your heart's pounding a little bit because it just came right around the corner. And you're still on the sidewalk, bro.
Jesus. Alright, I'll throw my bike in the back. Get in the car.
Okay.
Seems the dude.
I almost became an only child.
Yeah, you did.
Yep.
But once you got your bike in the trunk and you're in the back seat along with Iris and Jasmine, you go speeding off again, maybe a little more cautiously this time, Jasmine. You're pretty sure.
Not at all.
Not at all? Okay, fair enough. I stand corrected. Not at all. You're just going balls to the wall, pedal to the metal, zooming
Better
around.
go home.
Yeah. Give me one more coordination check, just for the fun of it.
I'm praying in the back.
Oh Lord. What is my coordination? Because maybe it's better than my dex. It's the same.
Depends on if you have
Oh.
proficiency. Yeah, okay, well.
Jesus, take the wheel.
That's Jasmine taking the wheel, not Jesus.
Wait, it didn't roll. Okay.
Jesus
for sure.
pops up. I don't know how to drive, bro.
Oh no!
Lyoko's saying, damn, did Lewis Brinley throw another poon?
Oh no!
Oh, goddamn. Yeah, you're just skidding around. You smash into a freaking street lamp.
I pull out and keep driving.
Is your car even still working?
Well, before that, I just want all three of you to make, God, I don't even know what roll to make for this one.
Oh god! The safety check.
Yeah, what's a safety check? Just another constitution, maybe?
Intelligence to see if we were wearing our seatbelts.
Yeah. Give me all three of you. Give me constitution checks. We're just trying to see how injured you got, or if you got injured.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh!
Ooh,
This is the
can't
last time.
we're dead.
This is the last time.
I got it.
We're in the hospital right now.
So-
I killed us all.
So I was literally looking for a 6. A 6 would have saved you all from
Can I give the help action?
not in
It's
this
a car
circumstance.
accident.
You smashed into a street lamp. All three of your heads went forward, cracked against the dashboard.
I mean, I got a 10.
Doesn't really make that much of a difference.
Yeah, each of you take. Well, Iris, Daryl, you're taking a trauma point.
Yep,
A trauma point?
makes sense.
Wait. Can I use barrier before we smash into the car? Wait.
No, wait a second.
Okay,
Wait
well,
a second.
this
I
is
did
interesting.
transform.
Oh, you did transform. What does barrier do?
So that's a
Okay.
fun one. I have it too.
Reaction reduce. Fuck. It's magical damage. I did
No,
take shield.
it's physical damage too.
Oh,
This one's
right.
gold, so it didn't take in the. It says you or an adjacent Magi-Knight reduce the physical damage received from one source by 5, and then it does also the magical damage.
Oh yeah, it's by 5, and then it adds your mam stat. If it's
Your
magic.
mam and your Magic Knight level.
Imagine.
Yeah.
I guess it's
Yeah.
just if he'll let you cast it while you're also the one
So-
driving.
So here's
It's a reaction.
that's what I was getting ready to ask. Was it a reaction?
Yeah, reaction reduce. It's the first line is reaction.
Okay.
Because I also want to keep the car, so.
Yeah. So you know what? It's my game. I'm gonna allow it. I don't know if I'm doing this right or not, but I freaking love it. So here's what happened. Going right towards the goddamn street lamp, Jasmine sees it in that last minute. She's in her Magi-Knight form. She reactively casts the barrier spell. That magical shield comes up right in front of it just before it hits. The car bounces off that. Everyone jerks forward, but it kind of catches you a little bit.
Wait, so who are you casting it on?
On the car.
On the car.
Also, that is 3 mana points to use.
Yep, that's 3 mana points to you, but it is saving you from the from the trauma. I like it. Tennessee Dragon is saying, note to Kieran and Derek, add vehicle tool proficiency if you're going to encourage part-timers to have reasonably priced vehicles. I agree, because that's what happens. Loot Bunny's saying we actually had it in the very alpha version of the game, but it was hard to work into the game often enough to make it worth taking. Seegster
I'm
is
gonna
sending
make
us
it
some more points, some more bits. Love you. Thank you very much. They're saying good night. Good night, Seegster. Loot Bunny is also saying, I think coordination checks are a good way to handle it, though. Thank you. What
Yeah.
were you about to say, Jasmine?
I'm gonna give a reason for them to have to put driving checks in this game.
Yep. That's exactly what's happening. You got to put it back in the book now, just for the simple fact that Jasmine freaking hits things with her car. I love it.
Let me
He's gonna
transform
make
the
it a
car.
weapon.
He
So-
let me transform the car. Now
Yeah.
I'm never not going to use it.
Oh my god.
But you know
No.
what? In that moment, the car is stopped, and Gawain, Iris, right down the street at the far end, you can see that. You can see that car that almost smashed itself to pieces, but saved
Jasmine?
itself in the last minute.
Yeah?
Was my brother in there?
Yes.
So, are we actually injured, or did the
You are
barrier
not.
prevent that?
The barrier is preventing it. It's a good use of the spell. I like it.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it mechanically
No,
works, but I like it.
That's fine. I am stumbling out of the car more unsteady than a drunk person after 5 shots of Jaeger.
I
That
only
is-
have one brother. Can I please keep him?
He's not dead.
He could have been.
You know, magic is a godsend.
Who's Matthew?
I said magic.
Well,
Pull the car up to the rest of the party.
Iris is just like, I'm never going anywhere with you again in your car.
I drove safely before there was an emergency.
Never again. I will walk next time.
It's
I'll,
life and death.
I'll
It's
drive
life
you
and
next
death.
time.
well, you know what? I think that's about where we're going to end things for this evening. It is 10 o'clock. You're still in your patrol phase. You're about halfway through it at this point. But that crystal's still glowing. Somewhere in this immediate vicinity, something is out there. So we're going to see if we can find that. But we're going to do that next. It's in 2 weeks, our next session. So, before we head out of here for this evening, I love to give all of my players a chance to shout out what they're doing, if they're doing anything. We're going to be starting at the top and working our way around clockwise, but Alyssa ain't here, so we're moving straight to Jeff. Jeff, you got anything you want to shout out?
Nope, not me.
Fair enough. Steven, you got anything you want to shout out?
We got 1 or 2 more sessions before the crossover event with our D&D groups on Mondays. I'm going to be part of the heist group, which is clearly the better one. So you should come and watch.
Heck yeah. Dasonie, how about you?
If you ever want to catch me playing just as chaotic but a Power Ranger on Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, catch me on the Power Rangers Project Spectrum YouTube channel with the Savage Stampede.
Very cool. How about you, Ryuu?
Nope, I don't have anything to shout out right now.
Fair enough. Hito, clear us out.
All right. My name is Justin. You can find me at Tensei Dragon, TENSEIDRAGON, on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, or Hitoshura at dice.camp on federated servers. You can also catch me playing Nadir Kosain Amber, Known Liability, on the Bard Rock Cafe podcast, available anywhere you get podcasts. It is a 5e game where every single character in the game has wild magic, and our GM occasionally has to add additional breaks to figure out how he's going to proceed.
That's valid. That's valid. Right on. Luke Bunny saying that was super entertaining. Thank you, guys. I was laughing almost to tears a couple times. Thank you very much. We're very happy you enjoyed it. So, I'm Matthew R. Dawson. You can find me as at Scruffy Wanderer on the tweets and the Instagrams. You can find me here on my channel, Random Rhapsody, every Monday at 3 p.m. with the Debauchery Circus, 7 p.m. with the Fab Five, and on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday here with Magi-Knights, and opposite that, Random Game Night, where me and my players get together and play goofy video games and stuff like that. A lot of fun. So on behalf of everyone here with the Nighty Knights, that's the Magi-Knights here in this group, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Good night.
Peace.
Adios.